Good, you're here. I have received reports on your agile response to the conditions in each region. Well done.
Professor, that armor... does that mean...
I have a report of my own to offer. I'll explain once everyone is assembled. Avis Unit, Astrum Unit, my apologies for keeping you waiting. Here are my findings. After investigating each region, I have determined this to be the territory of a Magala. As evidence of that, we recently took this Wudwud into our care, afflicted by the Frenzy virus.
It's unclear whether a Wudwud's body is capable of weathering the virus. At this rate, he may not...
Furthermore, I've arrived at a theory. The Dragon Torch's excessive output, the lasting weather inclemency. I believe both of these phenomena stem from a single root cause, Magala.
What? How? Wait, a virus? Interesting. You're right. The dots are starting to line up.
Fascinating. It's true the virus exacerbates any violent tendencies in its host. Given that, it could be that this excessive energy output is a symptom, or perhaps an immune response.
Yes, yes. And if we're talking infection, that starts to clarify what we're dealing with. This is big. The torch is some kind of organic structure. The damn thing's alive!
My thoughts exactly. And as an organism, it may respond to treatment. I'm sure you follow, Eric?
The antiviral compound you describe in your thesis. We'll need a tissue sample from the infection vector.
You think the Dragon Torch will respond to medicine? And would that same cure work on Rove?
There's hope. If they do share the same affliction, a cure for Rove could perhaps be a cure for both. The first step in testing that is slaying that Magala, to stop the virus's further spread. And to collect a tissue sample to derive a cure. Henceforth, that is our primary priority.
Understood. Then we'll hurry back to conduct any final analysis to be ready to treat the torch.
I'll keep a close eye on Rove's condition while examining the sample I took from him.
Good. Hunter, you'll join me in slaying this Magala. I've sent my men out to scout its location. Speak to me as soon as you're prepared to depart. Are you ready to leave, Hunter? All right. Time is our enemy here as much as Magala. Let's hurry to the rendezvous point. Look alive, men! Report!
Sir! We have yet to sight the target, but something is definitely here.
Form up! spread this far. Follow it. You two are their shield! Go!
You've always protected us! Now, it's our turn! Now go!
Rex, calm!
Larry!
Hang in there! That's an order! There's no escape! Monster! No choice. Deal with it!
Yes, sir.
Frenzied. Be on your guard now. Don't let your courage waver. Rex, Cobb, you had better be all right. I'm on it. I'm on it. nest. Stay sharp. From here on out, it's do or die. Admirably done. That should put a halt to the virus's spread.
You'll be able to compound the medicine here?
Yes. What I lack in facilities here is made up for by an excellent assistant. We'll see it done. Good. We'll continue to monitor him, but his condition has stabilized. A success, despite the circumstances. You did well with such limited resources, Eric.
I couldn't have done it without that tissue sample. Not to mention your thesis, sir. I just hope the Dragon Torch responds to it as well as our fuzzy friend.
The Avis unit should be delivering it now. We'll just have to put our faith in Werner and wait.
Amazing. Even I can see the change. Is it taking effect already?
Yes, but as much as I'd like to take the credit, the wyvern milk is what's working most of the magic. If not for it amplifying the effects of the treatment, you'd never see it recover this fast.
That said, another Gormakala could turn up at some point. Are you worried it might happen again?
It's a fair point, but I'm not too concerned. Especially if this thing has organic properties. I'd like to pick Eric's brain about this, but there's a chance it's developed antibodies now. And if the Wyvern milk magnifies that resistance too, it'd take a hell of a lot to break through it.
I'm not ready to be quite that optimistic. This thing is still a big unknown. Regardless. Werner, continue your research here. I'll be monitoring the area closely as well.
Understood. We'll head outside then. The cycles should return to normal in each region, but I'd like to keep monitoring them. Not to mention wanting to speak with you. I believe it's about Arkfeld. All right, then. Yep.
Sure. What have you got?
So, the bigger wasps are nice for healing and all, but are useless if you're knocked out, right?
Well, yeah. Can't do much if I'm laid out flat.
That's what got me thinking. There's a bug that heals like a vigor wasp, but like, bigger, yeah?
A giant vigor wasp?
Yeah, those!
Alright. I'll go catch you one.
Thanks a bunch! I can't wait to get to work on this one.
Perfect! There's a matter I'm eager to ask your opinion on.
Go right ahead.
I am told many mysteries still remain about the ecology of the Guardians. For instance, do you think tempered Guardians could ever exist? Or a tempered Shewu?
Their desire to survive is no less fierce than for other monsters. I wouldn't be surprised, especially with their dynamic of eat or be eaten. Why? Have you seen something lately?
No, it was really just a momentary glimpse. Nothing certain. But it felt unlike other Shewu.
I've learned it's often better to listen to my gut. If it turns out you're wrong, no harm done. I'll have the guild look into it and deal with it if needed.
Thank you. That would be a big relief. Sorry to trouble you.
Oh, it's you, Hunter. My apologies.
You seem pretty on edge. Has something happened?
Monsters have been coming closer to the village lately, so I've been on alert.
Monsters here? Why would they suddenly come so close?
The Allharkin said some monsters at the Ice Shard Cliffs have been raging recently. They've chased the others off. And now we're seeing the results of that here.
I see. That's concerning.
If the need arises, we can fortify the gate and weather it. The Keepers, though...
Right. And considering the cause, this is a problem that could worsen before it gets better. Will you allow us to look into the matter?
Yes. I would be very grateful. And rest assured, I'll keep this place safe in the meantime.
Welcome. Let us eat.
Oh, it's you. Sorry, but could I get some help?
Is something bothering you?
There's word of troubling monsters in the oil well basin. 2 of them. We can't get to the mine. They tried looking for ways around them or other spots to dig, but it sounds like they had no luck. We've been making do with the materials we had on hand, but our stores are starting to run out. I'm worried some of the village hotheads will do something stupid. Crafting may be our life, but you need a life to craft. I'm not allowing any reckless plans. Help me stop them?
Of course. I'm happy to help you persuade them. I'd like to know how they are troubling, though. If a native familiar with the local monsters says they're unusually tough, it could be aberrants. If so, closing off the mines won't be enough. We'll deal with it before anyone gets hurt.
You don't mind? I mean, that would be a huge help if it really isn't any trouble.
Your listenings are much required. Do you know of the botherous creature in these trees? White of fur and red of flower. Draw too near and suffer a mighty betingling. Big dangerous.
From that description, you mean a Lullabarina.
When pink and red clash, the fur pays damagings most dislike-worthy.
So the Lullabarina is giving you trouble because it's damaging Congalala pelts?
Pink fur is the biggest of splenditude. Many scarrings are not. But pink and red are most odd. Ferociousness is much different.
Wait, both of them are aberrant cases? Though it's hard to know anything for sure just yet. The fur aside for the moment, that's a concerning bit of news. If they pose a danger, we'll handle it.
Well said. I will give to your hands. Wins will be met with rewardings.
Excuse me, I had a question, if I might.
Of course.
Is it normal for monsters to fight with each other for days on end?
Well, it's not uncommon for monsters to engage in territorial struggles, but fights stretching over multiple days are rare. Where were they?
The land of blessed winds. The Vanguard have seen them at it every time they go to quarry gem chimestone. The monsters seem too focused on each other to pay the Vanguard much mind, but I still worry.
You're right to. It may just be good luck that's kept them from being attacked so far. I'm not keen to wait until that luck runs out. We'll investigate those monsters on our end.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And you... I'm sure you'll be fine, but do be careful.
Thank you for coming. I'm grateful. The egg we found, the one we thought might be from Arkveld, looks like we were right. I went around talking to people to gather what info I could. Scraps from its feeding, bits of eggshell. There's still not very much to go on, but it found a way to live. These creatures, their will to survive. Amazing.
Yeah, especially if it found a way to overcome its nature as a guardian. So, what's troubling you?
Well, people at other base camps were saying the state it's leaving its prey in isn't normal. Duna and New Udra both showed signs of being attacked. And what was left was awful.
I wonder if that means it's unable to control its appetite. Like the one we saw at the Dragon Torch.
I don't know. That's why I asked for Eric's help. I thought we should hear what he has to say together.
How interesting. I had heard talk of that egg as well, so I'm just as excited as you. But this isn't all good news. The fact that it's run roughshod over 2 apex predators troubles me as well.
This sort of sounds like the frenzy to me. Eric, what do you think?
Too difficult to say, but in Arkveld's case specifically, it may not be due to infection. For instance, Nata, are you familiar with the concept of bioconcentration?
No, I'm not.
Right, then I'll explain. This is still just a theory, but it's been on my mind as of late. The frenzy caused an uncontrolled spike in the Dragon Torch's energy output before, right? But it may have been more than just bad weather that caused those apex predators to rampage. Our analysis showed that the virus caused a subtle mutation in the energy the Dragon Torch produced. That means the Wyvern milk itself may have come to contain tiny traces of the virus's characteristics.
I'm starting to see where this is heading. Then the mutated energy started flowing out.
Exactly. It gradually tainted the water supply, animals, plants, insects, and onto monsters. If it traveled up the food chain, growing more concentrated at every step, its eventual destination would be the dominant predator of each region. That may be why that Duna and other monsters exhibited such aggression. A sort of pseudo-frenzy.
And then, at the very end of the chain, Arkveld comes and siphons those monsters' energy.
And in so doing, it may be assimilating their traits, essentially distilling the frenzy virus.
And after it finally found the strength to live again. Poor thing.
But from the reports we've heard, it sounds as if we're only dealing with one affected individual.
I believe so. And there's been no reports of Rey Dao being attacked yet. This is our chance.
Hey, we should talk to Nata before heading out.
I was planning to.
You're going, aren't you? To the Wind's Gasp, to Rey Dao.
Yes. There's a good chance Arkveld will turn up there.
Could I? I'd like to come with you. Please.
You heard Eric's theory. You know it's too dangerous, Nata.
I'm still just an apprentice hunter. I know. I can't do anything yet. But I'm also a keeper, so please. It found its way to life. Let me at least watch over it. And over you.
The answer is I don't need someone who's just going to watch. But, given how far you've come, I feel you're capable now of more than that. Don't be a passive observer. Use your head and think for yourself. Promise you'll do that, and you can come.
I will. I promise. Thank you. Okay. I'm ready to leave anytime. Okay. Let me know whenever you're ready.